We're gonna get this party started. We're gonna get this party started. We're gonna get this party started. It's a Bible reading party. We're gonna get this party started. We're gonna get this party started. We're gonna get this party started. It's a Bible reading party. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. We're gonna get this party started. I am remembering to turn off my mute button today. Yeah. So Facebook, hello, good morning, welcome. YouTube, good morning, welcome. I think maybe that's what I got me thrown off yesterday because I turned Facebook on before I turned you guys on, and I'm talking to them for a little bit while that music is playing, while that intro music is playing, and it got me thrown off. It was hilarious. I read for an hour and a half, and I was muted. Yeah, it's okay. Welcome, good morning, happy Friday. If you're watching on Facebook, hello, welcome. For all my people in the room at YouTube, at Boulevard 40, welcome. Especially the early bird in the room, Destiny Forever Walks, who tells me Grand Rising, and also says that you are the best. Oh, thank you, thank you. such kind words. It doesn't take much to make, make a person feel, put a smile on somebody's face. And then the Wiz came in and says, "Good morning, everyone." And she said it just like that. Love that. Mocha, mocha, mocha. It's actually hot chocolate. The time is now. Look at me being all early and stuff. Look at me being on time to my own party for the first time in 2 weeks. The time is now. Check the camera so you can both see. The time is now Friday. Oops. The time is now 7:15 a.m. 7:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's Texas time. It is Friday. Happy Friday, Friday. And it is June, what did I say? June 3rd. It is June 3rd, 2020, and we are in week 27 of reading the Bible. Week 27 of reading the Bible. And yes, I'm reading the Bible every day from January 1st to December 31st. You might be seeing me read it for the first time, but I've been reading it every day. And I'm so proud of myself. This is the Bible that I use. This is the New Believer's Bible. I've showed this many times before, in case you want to see what it looks like. It is the New Living Translation. New Living Translation. I like this Bible because it is a nice modern read, has modern English in it, and it reads very easily. From time to time, I do use this Quest Study Bible. I was using this at the earlier part of this week and last week when I was going through the book of Psalms, because I like the extra study notes in there. Reading all that poetry can sometimes be kind of like vague, unless you normally read poetry, which I don't. So anyways, that's that. And my Bible dictionary. My Bible dictionary, yeah. Nelson's Compact Dictionary. Very cool way to figure out how to pronounce these names, because there's a lot of biblical names in here that can be tongue twisters sometimes. And learn about the history, learn about what was going on politically and otherwise in particular areas. And when you find that out, like as you're reading the Bible, it makes better sense. Because I think, and hold on, I'm getting too many ideas at once. It's a good idea to use this to give you a frame of reference so you can understand what was going on at the times. While you're reading your Bible, don't read it straight through. Have some type of extra resource to help you out. That leads me into my other thought that I was going to say. So I do have a website. You guys should know. You can't see the screen share for you guys here on Facebook, but if you do come over to YouTube and play the replay of what I'm doing right now, you will be able to see the screen share that I'm about to throw up for my 40 fam right now. Oh man, I didn't have any of my tabs open and ready. I'm sorry. You guys, I didn't have to go to work last night. I was able to take the night off. I got excused for going in last night. And what do I always do when I have the night off? You think I sleep or do you think I stay up all day? Yeah. I gotta stop doing that. So I was up for 24 hours. Got off work yesterday morning. Did my Bible reading. Did another live. Did some research and worked on my websites. And just kept staying up. I got a lot accomplished. I'm very, very proud of myself. This is one of the things that I worked on yesterday. As I give you guys the screen share right here. I added something to the Bible in 1 year, which is the website that I created to go along with this particular channel, since it is my goal to read the Bible in 1 year. Read it, study it, learn it, understand it, apply it, live it, share it. That's my philosophy, my personal philosophy. Got the mission statement on there. And actually yesterday, for the first time, I included my blog. I've got notes of what I want to put on here, but it takes time to actually type it up and get the images and all that. So if you guys want to check this out, I've got my first blog up on the site. It's 12 skills you need before reading the Bible. And yes, I wrote that up. Took me a couple of hours altogether between coming up with the notes and the ideas and then writing it. And hopefully that you all will find something helpful here. I try to get as many helpful outside resources. So it's not just my opinion. It's a lot of resources. So if you see these words and sentences underlined, more than likely those are links. More than in case you didn't know, if you see something underlined, more than likely that is a link that will lead you to another website to kind of do some extra reading and get some more information on that. So that's that. There will be more resources on this page, as I really do want to encourage more people to read the Bible. I know lots of people have opinions on the Bible, but it seems like from all the people that I know that have opinions about the Bible, they haven't read it. So read it first, then make your opinion one way or another. I just encourage people to read, just read, seek knowledge. This is my Kindle Cloud reader. I'm doing more screen share over here on YouTube for my Facebook people. You can type in the Bible in 1 year. Matter of fact, let me type that in for you guys right now. Let's see, www. Actually, it's more like HTTPS, but hopefully you'll see it. The Bible in 1year.com. This is where you can go for all my Facebook people. That's where you can go to see the screen share that I just showed everybody here on YouTube. And then for the Kindle reader that I'm showing right now, Facebook, you'll just have to come over to the channel because it's on my laptop. I can't show you. But yeah, if you are on YouTube, look at the golden box on the left-hand side. It says read. On the right-hand side of that gold box, it says checkpoints. And that's what I've been reading this week, Monday and Tuesday, the book of Psalms, and the rest of this week, Chronicles. According to this chart, I should be on Chronicles Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Man, I thought yesterday was Friday and it was only Thursday, but okay. So according to this, I should be reading Chronicles 7 through 9. The checkpoints of this week are the kings bringing presents, David's sisters, 212 gatekeepers, water from Bethlehem's well, the ark on a cart. And if you are new here and you would like to see what my book looks like, this is the book that I'm using to study the Bible. It is written by Diane Stortz, and the title is A Woman's Guide to Reading the Bible in a Year, a Life-Changing Journey into the Heart of God. And yes, if you come back, I got to put this in the description. That's what I've got to do. I was going to say, if you come back and pause it here, you can write it down, but I do have to update it in the description. So that's what's going on there. Now that you know what I'm doing, let's do it. So that's my dictionary. That's my study Bible. This is the Bible I'm reading from this week because I only use that one for really the poetry part, but this one is really good for reading straight through. Do a quick recap of yesterday and bring my live stream back up so I can see everybody on the side because I feel like I'm missing people. Yes, you're being heard. Hooray! Yeah. You guys got to tell me I got too much going on behind the scenes here, and sometimes I do not realize. Here's the thing. Sometimes the live stream is just not active. Sometimes people just sit back and listen. So when I don't see anything going on, I'm thinking, oh, okay, they're just listening. Nobody said, we can't hear you. That's okay. But good morning. If you're being heard, good morning, 40 fam. Good morning, Miss Nicole. Bless the like button. Thank you. And then Destiny Forever Walk says, my dear sister Kenya, what have you been up to? Yeah, a lot. I'm telling you. I do try to follow your vids that you put out. Always interesting information and topics. Miss you. Thank you. Miss you, sis, with the hearts. Good morning, The Wiz, and how are you? To answer that question, a lot. I'm working on like 3 different websites for 3 different projects. And of course, I've got the main channel and this channel. And I'm writing my book. I'm actually writing 2 books. Is it too much? Maybe. Because you guys know that I've been covering my hair this year, right? So that's like part of my spiritual journey. Probably not going to do it for the rest of my life. I don't know. But just for this year, for 2020, it's something I've been desiring to experience. I want to know. What does it mean? What is it about? What does it say? And so I'm writing my book about YouTube. I'm writing a book on, some spiritual stuff I'm going on this year. I'm working on a lot. To answer your question, that's what I'm up to. I'm working on websites. I'm working on books. I'm working on the videos. And I'm working at my job because I'm back to work as of the last 2.5 weeks. since January 21st. I've been January. I'm so sleepy. I've been back to work since June 21st. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. That is what I've been up to. This is a recap of yesterday, by the way. Oh my goodness. This is a recap of yesterday. I did 1, 2, and 3. Then I did 4, 5, and 6. And I mentioned it before. Get a snack, get a drink. The reading of Chronicles is going to be very similar to the reading of Numbers. It's a lot of information. It's not necessarily a story. There's little snippets of stories in here, little snippets of descriptions, but it's really genealogy. So, the last 2 days were kind of dry, but it's still important to know that information so you can know who is who, and the relationship between people. Wow, you got this. I know that's right. Rosie the Riveter, you can do it. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Which is taken out of context a lot of times. You really do have to read the whole context, the whole scripture, but I still like to say that. Okay, 4, 5, and 6 was yesterday. This is what happened yesterday. In chapter 4, we talk about other descendants of Judah. We talked about descendants of Judah's son, Shelah. Talked about descendants of Simeon. A lot of kids. In chapter 5, we talked about the descendants of Reuben, the descendants of Gad. Talked about the tribes east of the Jordan. And we talked about the priestly line, the Levites. And then we talked about the Levite clans within the priestly line and the temple of, which were the temple musicians. We talked about, we talked about the Levite clans and the temple musicians. And I also read about the territory that was set aside for the Levites because they didn't get a portion of land like the other tribes. That's what happened yesterday. That's the recap. Pardon me as I just top myself off. I'm telling you, I have to stop doing that. But I didn't mean to stay over 24 hours. It just kind of happened. I said to myself, okay, I'm up. I'll go to bed by 12 noon. Oh, it's 12 noon. I'll go to bed by 3. Oh, 3. If I'm still up by 6, I'm just going to shut it down. And then it was 8:30 by the time I went to sleep. And that's what time I woke up to go to work the other night. Am I a workaholic? Check out the video that I'm working on for YouTube, for my other channel, because sometimes I think I am. I don't feel like a workaholic. I just feel like I know what I want. I really, really want it, and I'm going for it. So, anyways, this is chapter 7. This is chapter 7 of First Chronicles. Let's talk about the descendants of Issachar. Hold on, this is going to annoy me. I know you can't see it, but I feel like it's like right here by my eyeball because of my peripheral vision. So I'm going to rewrap this. I got my turban on underneath it, but I'm trying to throw some color up here to be cute. You know what I'm saying? Gotta be cute. I'm going to just do a little woohoo. And I'm going to do a little woohoo. And I'm going to do it like that. Cover your hair up for a year. You're going to find some real quick ways to wrap it up. Wrap it up. Bam. Yeah. A little cloth. See, I'm working on some articles for one of my websites. If you've noticed, I don't remember which video it was, but it said something like this video is brought to you by, and then it's got some pictures popping up with some websites on it. Those are all my websites. One of them having to do with covering your hair, which I said I may or may not do after 2020, but I'm learning different things, and as I'm learning it, I'm documenting it, and there's so many different ways to cover your hair, so many different cultures, so many different religions, so many different countries. I'm thinking about the African women that do the different wraps and the different, wow, it's just beautiful. I'm getting off topic, I'm sorry. But yeah, my point is, you wrap your head up for a year, you're gonna find real quick how to wrap it up. Keep it moving. This is chapter 7. Talking about the descendants of Issachar. The 4 sons of Issachar were Tola, Pua, Jashub, and Shimron. The sons of Tola were Uzi, Raphiah, Jeriel, Jemai, Ibsam, and Shemuel. Each of them was the leader of an ancestral clan at the time of King David. Oh, I feel like I've read this already. No, I didn't. Each of them was the leader of an ancestral clan at the time of King David. The total number of mighty warriors listed in the records of these clans was 22,600. The son of Uzi was Izrahiah. The sons of Izrahiah were Michael, Obadiah, Joel, and Ishiah. These 5 became the leaders of clans. All of them had many wives and many sons, so the total number of men available for military service among their descendants was 36,000. Hey, Obadiah and Joel, those are gonna be people featured later on. Those were prophets, I think. The total number of mighty warriors from all the clans of the tribes of Issachar was 87,000. All of them were listed in their genealogical records. And in verse 6, it talks about the descendants of Benjamin. 3 of Benjamin's sons were Bela, Becher, and Jediel. The 5 sons of Bela were Esbon, Uzi, Uziel, Jeremoth, and Eri. Each of them was the leader of an ancestral clan. The total number of mighty warriors from these clans was 22,034, as listed in their genealogical records. The sons of Becher were Zemira, Joash, Eleazar, Elionai, Omri, Jeremoth, Abijah, Anathoth, and Alimeth. Each of them was the leader of an ancestral clan. You guys paying attention to this, right? These clans, when they go out and they make their own way, those are usually going to be towns and names of cities and things like that. So when it says ancestral clan, where you come from? Who your people? Well, I come from Anathoth. I come from Alimeth. I come from Abijah. Okay, so I'm still in verse 9 of chapter 7. Each of them was the leader of an ancestral clan. The total number of mighty warriors and leaders from these clans were 20,200, as listed in their genealogical records. The son of Jediel was Bilhan. The sons of Bilhan were Jeush, Benjamin, Ehud, Kinayana, Zethan, Tarshish, which is the name of a place that we read a couple days ago, and Ahishahar. Each of them was the leader of an ancestral clan. From these clans, the total number of mighty warriors ready for war was 17,200. I like how they wrote that. Not just that they didn't just say the number of people in this clan. They said the number of mighty warriors ready for war. Like they were ready. I think that's interesting how that's written. The sons of Ir were Shupam and Hupim. Hushim was the son of Aher. And in verse 13, it's talking about the descendants of Naphtali. The sons of Naphtali were Jaziel, Guni, Jazer, and Shillem. They were all descendants of Jacob's concubine Bilhah. These are the descendants of Manasseh in verse 14. The descendants of Manasseh through his Armenian concubine included Azriel. She also bore Machir, the father of Gilead. Gilead. Machir found wives for Hupim and Shupim. Machir had a sister named Maacah. One of his descendants was Zelophehad, who had only daughters. Machir's wife, Maacah, gave birth to a son whom she named Peresh. His brother's name was Sheresh. The sons of Peresh were Ulam and Rakim. The son of Ulam was Bedan. All these were considered Gileadites, descendants of Machir, son of Manasseh. Machir's sister Hamoleketh gave birth to Ishhad, Abiezer, and Malah. The sons of Shemida were Ahian, Shechem, Liki, and Anayam. And in verse 20, we're going to talk about the descendants of Ephraim. I told you twice on both channels yesterday, Kenya, you were not being heard. I didn't see that. I didn't see that. It didn't pop up. I think YouTube is glitching out again. But I appreciate it. Thank you. I missed that part. I missed it. Or either YouTube was glitching out or I was glitching out. So I apologize, but thank you. Let's see. The descendants of Ephraim, verse 20. The descendants of Ephraim were Shuthelah, Bered, Tahath, Eliadah, Tahath. How are you going to have two Tahaths? Zabad, Shuthelah, Azer, and Eliad. These two were killed trying to steal livestock from the local farmers near Gath. Their father Ephraim mourned for them a long time, and his relatives came to comfort him. Afterward, Ephraim slept with his wife, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. Ephraim named him Beriah because of the tragedy his family had suffered. He had a daughter named Shira. Shira? She built the towns of Lower and Upper Beth-horon and Uzin Shira. The descendants of Ephraim included Repha, Resheph, Telah, Tahan, Ladan, Amihud, Elishama, Nun, and Joshua. Real quick side note. So Shira, and yesterday I read about He-Man. I was cutting up a little bit. Maybe it was a coincidence, or maybe the Lord is trying to tell me, Kenyon, I love your sense of humor. I love your charisma. Bring it down a little bit, because I was cutting up. Even though you guys couldn't hear me, you probably saw me muted, and I looked like the world's greatest mime. But I was reading some of these names, and I was making songs, and I was doing all kinds of things. So maybe that's the Lord's way of telling me, Kenya, stick to the script. We can laugh about it after the fact. Stick to the script. So yeah, She-Ra. Spelled differently, but She-Ra, 80s cartoon. It's an 80s cartoon. He-Man, it's an 80s cartoon. So I'm gonna try to stick to the script today. You guys keep me in line, because sometimes I really do enjoy reading the Bible. I really do. As I'm reading it and I'm taking it to heart and I'm really pouring myself into it, and that's good. But I need to rein it in sometimes. So that's that. That's my side note from reading She-Ra today and He-Man yesterday. These are this is still in chapter 7. This is verse 28, talking about the descendants of Ephraim lived in the territory that included Bethel and its surrounding towns to the south, Naaran to the east, Gezer and its villages to the west, and Shechem and its surrounding villages to the north as far as Ayah and its towns. I even had something to say about Shechem yesterday. I'm glad you didn't hear it, but I'm going to move along. Along the border of Manasseh were the towns of Bethshan, Taanach, Megiddo, Dor, and their surrounding villages. The descendants of Joseph, son of Israel, lived in these towns. Okay, here we go. These are the descendants of Asher, from verses 30 down through 40. The sons of Asher were Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, and Beriah. They had a sister named Sarah. The sons of Beriah were Heber and Malkiel, the father of Beerzaith. The sons of Heber were Japhlet, Shomer, and Hotham. They had a sister named Shua. The sons of Japhlet were Pasak, Bimhal, and Ashvath. The sons of Shomer were Ahi, Roga, Huba, and Aram. The sons of his brother Halem were Zophah, Imnah, Shelesh, and Amal. The sons of Zophah were Suah, Harnether, Shual, Beri, Imrah, Bezer, Hod, Shama, Shilsha, Ithran, and Bira. The sons of Jether were Jethuneh, Pispa, and Ara. The sons of Eula were Ara, Haniel, and Rizia. Each of these descendants of Asher were the head of an ancestral clan. They were all select men, mighty warriors, and outstanding leaders. The total number of men available for military service was 26,000, as listed in their genealogical records. That's the end of chapter 7. Men ready for war. People ready for service. I've been thinking a lot lately about spiritual warfare. Who'd have thought? Or at least I would have never thought that I would have been this deep into spirituality, the Bible. But yeah, the more that I read the Bible, I feel like I'm naturally seeing things differently in reality. And I'm just seeing a lot of things dealing with spiritual warfare. And whether it's in the news or politics or the people that I see that I work with every day or my own life or just every time I step out the door, I'm seeing more and more spiritual influence on things that's going on. And so as I'm reading this today, I just think that's interesting to kind of confirm what I've been feeling. How did they write that one? When I was in chapter 7, and in chapter 7, verse 11, each of them was the leader of an ancestral clan. From these clans, the total number of mighty warriors ready for war. Ready for war. Being a leader and being ready for war. Sometimes you don't want to join the war, but sometimes you got to fight anyways. I'll save that for another reading. That has been chapter 7 of the First Chronicles, and unless there's something else going on in the chat that I need to respond to, I'm going to go on to chapter 8. Okay. I don't see any questions. Let me move on. Chapter 8 talks about the descendants of Benjamin. Benjamin's first son was Bela. The second was Ashbel. The third was Ahara. The fourth was Noha. And the fifth was Rapha. The sons of Bela were Adar, Jerah, Abihud, Abishua, Naaman, Ahoa, Jerah, Shephufan, and Huram. The sons of Ehud, leaders of the clans living at Geba, were exiled to Manahath. Ehud's sons were Naaman, Ahijah, and Jerah. Jerah, who led them into exile, was the father of Uzzah and Ahihud. After Shaharaim divorced his wives, Hushim and Bayara, he had children in the land of Moab. His wife Hodesh gave birth to Jobab, Zibiah, Mesha, Malcolm, Jeuz, Sakiah, and Mirma. These sons all became the leaders of clans. Shaharaim's wife, Hushim, had already given birth to Abitud and Elpaal. The sons of Elpaal were Eber, Misham, Shemed, who built the towns of Ono and Lod and their nearby villages, Bariah, and Shema. They were the leaders of the clans living in Aijalon, and they drove out the inhabitants of Gath. Verse 14 says, Ahio, Sheshach, Jeremoth, Zebadiah, I said it right the first time. Zebadiah, Arad, Ader, Michael, Ishpa, and Joah were the sons of Bariah. Zebadiah, Meshulam, Hizki, Heber, Ishmerai, Isliah, and Jobab were the sons of Elpaal. Jacob, Zikri, Zabdi, Elianai, Zilethai, Eliel, Adiah, Bariah, and Shimrath were the sons of Shimei. Ishpan, Eber, Eliel, Abdon, Zikri, Hanan, Hananiah, Elam, Anthothijah, Ephdaiah, and Penuel were the sons of Sheshach. Shamsheri, Shahariah, Athaliah, Jearashiah, Elijah, and Zikri were the sons of Jeroham. These were the leaders of the ancestral clans. They were listed in their genealogical records, and they all lived in Jerusalem. The family of Saul is discussed in verse 29. Jael, who was the father of Gibeon, lived in the town of Gibeon. His wife's name was Maacah, and his oldest son was named Abdon. Jael's other sons were Zur, Kish, Baal, Ner, Nadab, Gader, Ahio, Zechariah, and Mikloth, who was the father of Shemim. All of these families lived near each other in Jerusalem. Ner was the father of Kish. Kish was the father of Saul. Saul was the father of Jonathan, Malchishua, Aminadab, and Eshbaal. Jonathan was the father of Meribbaal. Meribbaal was the father of Micah. Micah was the father of Pithon, Melech, Tereah, and Ahaz. Ahaz was the father of Judah. Judah was the father of Alameth, Asmaveth, and Zimri. Zimri was the father of Moza. Moza was the father of Benaiah. Benaiah was the father of Rephaiah. Rephaiah was the father of Eleasa. Eleasa was the father of Azel. Azel had 6 sons: Azrikam, Bokeru, Ishmael, Shariah, Obadiah, and Hanan. These were the sons of Azel. Azel's brother Eshek had 3 sons. The first was Ulam, the second was Jeush, and the third was Eliphalet. Ulam's sons were all mighty warriors and expert archers. They had many sons and grandsons, 150 in all. All these were the descendants of Benjamin. Okay, so King Saul, the first king, came through the line of Benjamin. Interesting. And yesterday, you guys remember, I was talking about the word, name, title, Baal. Baal meaning God or Lord or leader. And I was thinking to myself, why did they call their sons God? Why did they call their son God? But it would be no difference than, let's say, Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince. His parents named him Prince. There are people that name their daughters Princess or Empress or King even. So yeah, Baal was one of Jael's sons that I read up here earlier. That's chapter 8. So for those of you on Facebook who may have any questions, ask them now. And for those of you on YouTube who may have any questions, ask them now. If I don't see anything, I'm going to go on to chapter 9, which is the final chapter of today. I'm reading 7, 8, and 9, I believe. Let me double check my my guide, my Kindle download. I'm pretty sure it's I did 1, 2, and 3. Then I did 4, 5, and 6. And I believe today I'm doing 7, 8, and 9. I think we're pretty much done with all the genealogy, because at this point it looks like it's all narration. It's talking about the returning of the exiles, the returning of the priests, the returning of the Levites. And then tomorrow when I jump into chapter 10, talking about the death of King Saul a little bit more, because we read about the death of King Saul in the book of Kings already, talking about David becoming king of Israel in chapter 11. Yeah, from this point on, I think it's going to be a narrative. But for the first 7 chapters of Chronicles, we have to go through that bloodline from Adam all the way down. Let me check this guide real quick. Week 27, can you believe it? And the theme of this week is Remember the Past. Very appropriate. Looking at my Kindle download, A Woman's Guide to Reading the Bible in a Year, a life-changing journey into the heart of God. The theme of this week is Remember the Past. That's why we're going through this family line. And it says, yes, First Chronicles 7, 8, and 9. That's what I'm reading for today. So this right here is the last chapter for today. It starts off saying, so all Israel was listed in the genealogical records in the book of the kings of Israel. And now we're going to go on to the returning exiles. The people of Judah were exiled to Babylon because they were unfaithful to the Lord. The first of the exiles to return to their property and their former towns were the priests, Levites, temple servants, and other Israelites. Some of the people from the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, Ephraim, and Manasseh came and settled in Jerusalem. One family that returned was that of Uthai, son of Amihud, son of Omri, son of Imri, son of Bani, and descendant of Perez, son of Judah. Others returned from the Shilonite clan, including Asaiah, the oldest, and his sons. From the Zerahite clan, Jeuel returned with his relatives. In all, 690 families from the tribe of Judah returned. From the tribe of Benjamin came Salu, son of Meshullam, son of Hodaviah, son of Hasenua, Ibniah, son of Jeroam, Elah, son of Uzi, son of Mikri, and Meshullam, son of Shephatiah, son of Ruel, son of Ibnijah. These men were all leaders of clans, and they were listed in their genealogical records. In all, 956 families from the tribe of Benjamin returned. Verse 10 is talking about the returning of the priests. Among the priests who returned were Jediah, Jehoiarib, Jachin, Azariah, son of Hilkiah, son of Meshullam, son of Zadok, son of Meraioth, son of Ahitub. Azariah was the chief officer of the house of God. Other returning priests were Adiah, who was the son of Jeroam, son of Pashur, son of Malkijah, and Maasai, son of Adiel, son of Jazerah, son of Meshullam, son of Meshilemeth, son of Emer. In all, 1,760 priests returned. They were heads of clans and very able men. They were responsible for ministering at the house of God. And in verse 14, it's talking about, I still got you guys on the screen here, don't I? Oh, no, I don't. I just had my guide up there. I couldn't see it. Making sure I don't miss anybody in the chat. All right. All right, in verse 14, talk about the returning Levites. The Levites who returned were Shemaiah, son of Hashub, son of Azrikam, son of Hashabiah, a descendant of Merari. Bakbakar, Haresh, Galal, Mattaniah, son of Micah, son of Zikri, son of Asaph. Obadiah, son of Shemaiah, son of Gilal, son of Jeduthun, and Berechiah, son of Asa, son of Elkanah, who lived in the area of Netophah. The gatekeepers who returned were Shalom, Akub, Talmon, Ahiman, and their relatives. Shalom was the chief gatekeeper. Prior to this time, they were responsible for the king's gate on the east side. These men served as gatekeepers for the camps of the Levites. Shalom was the son of Korah, a descendant of Aviasaph, from the clan of Korah. We remember what happened to Korah, right? Like Jaws, but without the water. Yeah, the ground opened up and consumed them because of them coming against Moses and Aaron. Let's see. He and his relatives, the Korahites, were responsible for guarding the entrance to the sanctuary, just as their ancestors had guarded the tabernacle in the camp of the Lord. Phinehas, son of Eleazar, Phineas, son of Eleazar, had been in charge of the gatekeepers in earlier times, and the Lord had been with him. And later, Zechariah, son of Meshelemiah, was responsible for guarding the entrance to the tabernacle. In all, there were 212 gatekeepers in those days, and they were listed according to the genealogies in their villages. David and Samuel the seer had appointed their ancestors because they were reliable men. Samuel the seer. It's interesting that they used that particular word because in another book, they just called him the prophet. But now they're calling him Samuel the seer, which makes sense because he is seeing what the Lord is allowing him to see, but it's just different ways to describe him. And in case you're wondering, I'm reading chapter 9, 1 Chronicles chapter 9, verse 22. It's talking about Samuel the seer. David and Samuel the seer had appointed their ancestors because they were reliable men. These gatekeepers and their descendants, by their divisions, were responsible for guarding the entrance to the house of the Lord when that house was a tent. The gatekeepers were stationed on all four sides, east, west, north, and south. Their relatives in the villages came regularly to share their duties for 7-day periods. The 4 chief gatekeepers, all Levites, were trusted officials, for they were responsible for the rooms and treasuries at the house of God. They would spend the night around the house of God, since it was their duty to guard it and to open the gates every morning. Some of the gatekeepers were assigned to care for various articles used in worship. They checked them in and out to avoid any loss. Others were responsible for the furnishings. the items in the sanctuary and the supplies, such as flour, choice flour, wine, olive oil, frankincense, and spices. But it was the priests who blended the spices. Mattathiah, a Levite, and the oldest son of Shallum the Korahite, was entrusted with baking the bread used in the offering. And some members of the clan of Kohath were in charge of preparing the bread to be set on the table each Sabbath day. The musicians, all prominent Levites, lived at the temple. They were exempt from other responsibilities since they were on duty at all hours. All these men lived in Jerusalem. They were the heads of Levite families and were listed as prominent leaders in their genealogical records. And this is the final portion of chapter 9. It's talking about King Saul's family tree. Jael, the father of Gibeon, lived in the town of Gibeon. His wife's name was Maacah, and his oldest son was named Abdon. Jael's other sons were Zur, Kish, Baal, Ner, Nadab, Gader, Ahiah, Zechariah, and Mikloth. Mikloth was the father of Shemin, and all these families lived near each other in Jerusalem. Ner was the father of Kish. Kish was the father of Saul. Saul was the father of Jonathan, Malchishua, Abinadab, and Ishbaal. Jonathan, you guys remember, Jonathan was David's best friend. They were like brothers. Jonathan was the father of Merib-Baal. Merib-Baal was the father of Micah. The sons of Micah were Pithon, Melech, Tareah, and Ahaz. Ahaz was the father of Jadah. Jadah was the father of Alameth, Asmaveth, and Zimri. Zimri was the father of Moza. Moza was the father of Benaiah. Benaiah's sons were Raphiah. Raphiah's son was Eliash. Eliasah's son was Azel. Azel had 6 sons whose names were Azrikam, Bokeru, Ishmael, Shiriah, Obadiah, and Hanan. These were the sons of Azel. And that is the reading for today. That has been 1 Chronicles 4, 5, and 6. 1 Chronicles 7, 8, and 9. I don't think I need to dive into my dictionary at all today. Everything was pretty straightforward. Came on down through the generations of King Saul and his people. No, I don't think it's so. Wow, that's a really long heading. I'm going to read 2 headings to round this out. Hopefully by the time I get done with this reading, we'll be just under an hour. But that has been the genealogy and the return of the exiles. I'm going to read Judah and the kingdom of Judah to round this out because Judah was mentioned quite a bit in the reading for today. Judah, if you did not know, means praise. Judah means praise. I didn't know that. The 4th son of Jacob and Leah, and the founder of the family out of which the messianic line came. Judah saved Joseph's life by suggesting that his brothers sell Joseph to the Ishmaelite merchants rather than kill him. In Egypt, it was Judah who begged Joseph to detain him rather than Benjamin, Jacob's beloved son. In an eloquent speech, Judah confessed what he and his brothers had done to Joseph shortly thereafter. Joseph identified himself to his brothers. It appears that Judah was the leader of Jacob's sons who remained at home. Even though he was not the oldest son, Judah was sent by Jacob to precede him to Egypt. Also, Judah, rather than his older brothers, received Jacob's blessing. In that blessing, Jacob foretold the rise of Judah. Your father's children shall bow down before you. The scepter shall not depart from Judah until Shiloh comes. Judah fathered twin sons, Perez and Zerah. The line of Judah ran through Perez to David, and thus became the messianic line. And so that's just Judah right there. That's Judah. Now we're going to talk about the kingdom of Judah to wrap this up. One of the two nations, because remember it was Judah and Israel, one of the two nations into which the united kingdom of the Jews was divided following King Solomon's death in 931 BC. Judah consisted mostly of the tribes of Judah and part of Benjamin, although Simeon apparently was included later. Judah was left suddenly independent when Rehoboam refused to lighten the heavy load of forced labor and high taxation imposed on the Israelites by his father Solomon. Upon Rehoboam's refusal, the 10 tribes living north of Bethel declared their independence. Scarcely had this division occurred when another blow devastated Judah. Shishak, Pharaoh of Egypt, invaded the country, plundered the treasures of the temple and the royal palace, and destroyed a number of newly built fortresses. Rehoboam wanted to attack Israel and reunite the kingdom by force, but Shemaiah, the prophet, showed him how foolish the attempt would be. Rehoboam's son, Abijah, regained a small area from Israel and tried to make an alliance with Syria against the northern kingdom, as did his successor Asa. Asa rooted out much of the Canaanite paganism in Judah, and his reign was mostly peaceful and prosperous. He was followed by Jehoshaphat, who had co-ruled with Asa from about 873 BC. Judah prospered under the rule of Jehoshaphat, although he failed in his attempts to revive Solomon's seagoing trade. An alliance with Ahab of Israel against the Syrians at Ramoth Gilead proved to be even more disastrous. Jehoshaphat's son Jehoram married Athaliah, daughter of Ahab and the wicked queen Jezebel, and their marriage led to Baal worship being established in Jerusalem. Jehoram's son Ahaziah reigned only for 1 year before he was killed. The pagan queen mother Athaliah seized the throne and nearly brought the Davidic line to extinction by killing most of Ahaziah's sons. Only the infant Joash escaped. He was rescued by his aunt Jehoshabeth and her husband Jehoiada, the godly high priest. After 6 years, Joash was proclaimed the lawful king, and Athaliah was executed. The new king reigned well, whenever he followed Jehoiada's advice. But following the death of the high priest, idolatry crept back into the nation's life. Joash was finally assassinated by his servants following a raid on Jerusalem by the army of Syria, which pillaged the city. Judah enjoyed modest prosperity under Amaziah, the son and successor of Joash. Amaziah regained control of Edom, which had been independent since the days of Jehoram. Thus he was able to control the trading caravans of West Arabia as Solomon had done. Amaziah was eventually murdered at Lachish as the result of a conspiracy, and he was succeeded by Azariah, also known as Uzziah, about 767 BC. Uzziah set about restoring Judah's military and economic strength. He suppressed Baal worship in the kingdom and promoted the traditions of the Sinai covenant. That's the first time I've heard it that way. The Sinai covenant. The Sinai covenant. Interesting. He improved agricultural productivity by constructing cisterns, which increased available water supplies. Uzziah incorporated some Philistine and Ammonite territory into his own realm. He also built new defensive positions in Jerusalem and at the outpost on the borders of Judah. Uzziah became proud of his successes, which led him to take over one of the duties of the high priest. For this, he was struck with leprosy for the rest of his life. Jotham succeeded his father Uzziah and continued to make the southern kingdom productive. His successor Ahaz was faced with Assyria's rise to power under Tiglath-Pileser III. But Ahaz resisted the urgings of Rezin of Syria and Pekah of Israel to join an alliance against Assyria. Instead, Ahaz sought help from Assyria against Isaiah's advice and received assistance in return for heavy tribute. Syria and the kingdom of Israel were destroyed, leaving Judah at the mercy of the Assyrians. When Hezekiah succeeded Ahaz, he also disregarded Isaiah's advice and became involved in a coalition with Babylonia and Egypt against Assyria. Assyria, now ruled by Sennacherib, moved against Jerusalem in 701 BC. The Assyrians soon withdrew after suffering heavy losses, perhaps from a plague. The rest of Hezekiah's reign was marked by a renewal of covenant faith. Hezekiah's renewal was disrupted by his son Manasseh, about 697 to 641 BC, who reacted violently against his father's religious policies. Manasseh introduced a lengthy period of paganism that brought Judah to new depths of depravity. He was deported to Babylon by Esarhaddon about 681 BC. Manasseh's son, Amon, continued in his father's depravity, but he soon was murdered. His successor, Josiah, restored traditional covenant religion, which was based on the book of the law, newly discovered in the temple storeroom. Many did not follow Josiah's example, however, and the prophet Zephaniah foretold disaster for the nation. For by 610 BC, the Assyrian Empire had collapsed under Babylonian attacks, and the victors prepared to march against Egypt, which had been helping the Assyrians. Josiah intervened and was killed at Megiddo. Pharaoh Necho deposed Jehoahaz in 609 BC and made Jehoiakim ruler of Judah, which was now firmly under Egyptian control. The Babylonians swept down upon Jerusalem in 597 BC and captured it. A second attack led to Jerusalem's second defeat in 586 BC. Captives from both campaigns were taken to Babylonia to mark the captivity of the southern kingdom. The Babylonians appointed Gedaliah, a court official in Judah, to oversee what was left of life in the land. After 3 months as governor, he was assassinated. Judah's kingdom reaped the reward of its idolatry and rebellion against the Lord and disappeared from history. That's it. That is the kingdom of Judah. There's also a heading on the tribe of Judah, which pretty much I think I've already read through Chronicles, so I will not read that portion there. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the final. We're rounding out right about 58 minutes. So by the time I do my outro prayer, we should be ready to go. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day. Lord, thank you for waking me up. Thank you for waking me up. And I'm not talking about from my bed. Thank you for waking me up. Thank you for allowing me to see. Thank you for the fire burning within me to seek truth. Thank you for the discipline and persistence to read daily. And thank you for the many blessings that I'm receiving from reading daily. Lord, I pray that all who hear my readings are motivated to read the Bible in their own time so they can come to their own understanding and so they can understand who you are, who they are through you, and so that they can find purpose and live their best life. That is my prayer, Lord. Amen. That's it, y'all. I'm done for today. If you enjoyed this Bible reading, like it, share it, and tell me what you liked in the comments, whether you're watching me on Facebook, whether you're watching me on YouTube, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching after the fact. Tell me what you liked. Give me some constructive criticism. If you know something I don't know, tell me. I want to know. I want to learn. If you want to, I got a big kiss. Oh, thank you. Thank you from Facebook. Oh, wow. All of a sudden, a big kissy face just appeared on my screen. Thank you. But yes, for those of you who do enjoy this, share it out with somebody who you think would appreciate it. This is my second channel. I do want to grow it, but I want to grow it with people who are truly interested in reading with me, learning with me. Disclaimer, I'm not here to teach. I'm not teaching. I'm not teaching. I'm not preaching. I'm here reading the Bible because I don't know what's in it, and I want to know what's in it, and I want you to know what's in it. So that's my purpose of being here. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a preacher. I'm a student. And if you guys want to learn along with me, yes, that's the purpose of This channel is to explore my spiritual side and grow. And grow. Hopefully, you guys can grow with me, and the channel can grow with people who truly do want to learn more. So yeah, if you know somebody like that, share me out to those types of people. And then as they come in, we can learn from each other and learn from the Bible. That's what it's all about. To my people on Facebook, I gotta let you go because I gotta start to man the controls over here on YouTube so they can get the outro music. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you've never watched me on YouTube, you gotta come over to YouTube. The channel name is Boulevard 40, BLVD space 40. That's it. You can even type in hashtag BLVD40, and if you type that in on YouTube, I should come up on my channel. Or you can even type in hashtag Bible Reading Party, hashtag Bible Reading Party, and you'll be able to find me there. So yes, for my Facebook fam, my 40 fam on Facebook, thank you for watching and listening, and I will see you tomorrow. And for you guys still watching me here on YouTube, thank you so much. It's time for the live and coming at you. I forget that every single time. All I gotta do is get my folks on YouTube. Every single time I forget. As soon as you hit finish, it will start from the beginning, and it startles me every time. But yeah, to my YouTube family, thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. That is Texas time, y'all. I ain't even from Texas, but I'm a Texan at heart now. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Here's the outro music. Enjoy.